It looks like we found our temporary home and it is right here, just a few steps from us. Keep your fingers crossed, my dear friends. Later today we are supposed to get the rental contract signed, and this is it. No more apartment hunting. I hope so. I really, really hope so. It's a huge relief to stay close by. We will move right after Passover. Later in this vlog, I will take you inside to see our new temporary nest. Please note, this video includes the sound of sirens. It's the first day of spring and it is also our 26th anniversary. We wake up here in my mother-in-law's apartment, which has a safety room inside. We feel lucky we can stay here whenever we want. We had a better night than the difficult ones we've had lately. We're not fully rested, but we did get more hours of sleep for sure. When we stay here, we don't need to run several floors up and down to the basement shelter every time a siren comes, so it's much easier. The boys sleep inside the safety room and we sleep here in the bedroom next to it. We had a lovely Friday evening here last night. The kids got us flowers for the anniversary. We cooked dinner and we all watched the first Lord of the Ring movie together between sirens. We all needed this cozy family time. After a short coffee with Eyal's mom, we left the boys sleeping, and before we head back home, bye Maya, we drive Maya to her apartment in Tel Aviv. She needs to be there today. The streets are empty. This is not a typical Saturday morning in the center of Tel Aviv. You can feel that people stay close to home, close to shelters. Most of the buildings here don't have a safety room or even a basement shelter, so when there is a siren, people run outside to the closest public shelter. It can be across the street or a few minutes running down the road. This is what Maya does when she stays at her apartment with her roommates. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Moran. I'm a homebody at heart, sharing little stories from my life here in Israel. If you're watching this sometimes in the future, please know that these are days of war. We are living with constant sirens, day and night, and rockets bombings. Most of all, we live with fear and with not knowing when the next rocket will hit or when this will finally comes to an end. A few weeks ago, a rocket hit our building and our home was damaged. We were told we have to leave. Since then, we are trying to find a new place to live and to keep some kind of daily routine inside all of this. I'm trying to keep making these vlogs, to keep some kind of vlogging routine, to keep you updated. So many of you are worried about us, sending your love and prayers and asking questions about how we are all doing. And I'm very, very grateful for you. In this vlog, I'm taking you with me through a few days of our life during these times. I will take you to see the apartment we finally managed to find, and we are just a few steps away from moving in. Having to leave our nest is one of the most difficult things for me and honestly for all of us, but at this point we have no other choice. For our 26th anniversary, we were gifted with a cozy rainy Saturday at home. Luckily, we had no sirens at all in our area today, which was very surprising. But unfortunately, there were many sirens and rockets falling in other areas. We spent the day doing what we love the most, spending a quiet day at home, enjoying the sound of rain instead of the sound of sirens. Eyal is cooking a special brine for a long processed corned beef that he's trying for the first time, and I'm spending time finally finishing this healing book. I admire this Japanese writer who wrote such a delicate, special story all about relationships. I think I mentioned it in one of my previous vlogs. One of my lovely Japanese followers here on YouTube left me a comment saying that Japanese novels are healing, and I could really feel it throughout the reading. I hope my next book is also a good choice for me during these days. As far as I understand, it is about a very difficult time, but it is also a story about human kindness, which I think might be a good choice for me right now. And if any of you read it, please let me know your thoughts in the comments.
מה זאת אומרת אני לא יודע את זה?
אתה עוד לא יודע מה תשים שם.
אוקיי. Taking a quick shower without any siren forcing you to go out wet and quickly run down to the shelter feels like a luxury these days. Being able to do a little bit of my simple skincare routine feels extra special. It is very cold, so today I'm wearing a sweater that I knitted myself a few years ago, which makes me very happy. This is the Airy Sweater by Isabelle Kremer that I knitted using yak yarn that I purchased at a Edinburgh festival a few years ago. It's so cold that I'm wearing it today over a sweatshirt. And laundry, of course, goes on no matter if it is war or how many sirens we have. We are 5 people, so there is always a lot of laundry to take care of. But war makes you feel very thankful with every simple housekeeping task you manage to do during the day.
If it's this cold here, it is going to be freezing cold down in the shelter, so I'm going to wear one of my hand-knitted woolly socks today as well. I think I'm going to wear one of my stripy socks that I made following my basic vanilla socks pattern. I will link the pattern in the description box below for you. Eyal is working from home today. On some days he drives to the office. They have a built-in shelter, but the drive is still very stressful. We always worry about a siren starting while he is on the road. We didn't get much sleep last night, so he decided to stay and work in my craft room where it is quiet, and we both need another cup of coffee. Usually he is the one who makes it for us, but he is very busy with work today, so I'm taking care of it. My body is craving a warm soup. I'm taking out all the vegetables that I can find in the fridge. I also took out a jar of beef bone broth from the freezer. It will for sure make a good base, and I know that the soup will turn out delicious no matter what I add in. My sourdough starter is almost triple in size and it's ready to go, so I'll get the dough going before I start making the soup. I'm making the same sourdough recipe from my full sourdough video tutorial that I shared here on my YouTube channel. I will link that video below for you if you want to see the full process. But it's basically a mixture of white bread flour with whole wheat flour and some whole rye flour. I'm using a total of 500 grams of flour for this loaf. I'm trying to keep some sort of sourdough baking routine, although it can be pretty tricky. So if a siren comes, I just turn off the oven and hope for the best. Usually it turns out okay. And I make a loaf every 2 or 3 days, depends on the situation here. It works out well for us and it helps keeping, a sense of normalcy in the kitchen. So I'm recording this voiceover today in between the sirens, which I think it's barely 2 to 3 minutes between sirens this morning.
הולך לישון רואים מה תעשה.
I always remember at the last minute that I have something else to add to the pot, but usually it works out just fine. To be completely honest, I am just really enjoying these quiet moments in the kitchen. Every chop and every stir of the vegetables in the pot is so relaxing. In these war days, you don't take these simple movements for granted. Today it feels almost like meditating, but maybe it's just because I'm simply tired to the bones. I'm also trying to use up everything I have in the freezer, so I'm adding these sprouted lentils to the soup as well. I want to empty the freezer as much as I can before we have to move. After it all comes to a boil, I'm adding some turmeric and cumin and a few bay leaves and some salt. And just before I close the pot and let it cook low and slow, I'm adding some freshly picked parsley with a tiny bit of dill and some green onions that I had in the fridge. Now I will quickly take care of the laundry and then I'll take you with me to see the apartment that we are going to move to. Eyal and I are going to meet the owner of the new apartment for the first time. Up until now, her son was the one showing us the place. We really wanted to meet her in person because she was the one who gave the green light for our short-term rental request. We are so grateful for this. Usually landlords prefer to sign contracts for at least a year and a half, but after we told them our home was hit by a rocket, they were so kind and willing to help us. Even though the apartment is well aged and has a very old-fashioned style, the place is clean and you can feel really clearly that it got a lot of love and it feels like a home. Most importantly, it is only 2 buildings away from our current apartment. This means that the boys can stay close to their familiar surroundings and we can be nearby when the repairs on our home finally start. So hopefully by the time you watch this video, we already have a rental contract signed with kind owners, and this will be our temporary nest starting right after Passover. And yes, the first step on this journey is done. ממש ממש טעים, נכון? ממש ארוחה בפני עצמה. ברוקולי.
בטטה מה יש פה?
דלורית? שהיה לי פתאום נזכרתי שיש לי. Having to leave my nest is one of the most difficult things for me and for all of us. I will miss it. I will miss it so much. The light, the quiet, and everything about this home. Eyal and I started to work on a damage report together with a constructor engineer we hired. The list of things that need to be taken care of is endless. Aside from the 5 walls that need to come completely down from floor to ceiling, there is so much work and so many details to cover. We try to keep it simple and go room by room, but the list goes on and on and on, and it is so easy to get lost in all those details.
סודי חד פעמי לאחר בנייה, חום מגובה, תלמוד חלומות צמוקים. ולא היו נכנסים לך לארץ. להיות מה?
Signed. So this is our place. This is the new place. Just across our kitchen window.
את רוצה אולי לנסוע איתי לאנשהו?
לאן?
את יכולה לנסוע איתי להביא אדמה?